Hi, everybody, and welcome to True Name Podcast. How well do you take care of yourself? Well, as a homeschooling, working, single mom of 5 kids, I know that I could do a better job. Moms and dads in general need to do a better job taking care of themselves. I think it's important, too, that we set a good example for our kids. Nowadays we see our kids on their phones constantly. And I'm not too much far from that. I'm guilty that I'm on my phone a lot as well. And I think that though when we do that, we set that bad example too. We need to take that time to show our kids that there is more to life than our phones and our computers and the digital world. We just are so missing that one-on-one, that companionship, that really good and pure relationship aspect of life. And it's good to laugh. It's really good to laugh. And reels can be funny. Like I said, I'm guilty of scrolling through those and escaping to my phone or computer. But we miss out. We miss out on a lot. And earlier tonight, my daughter and we played just this game where we would sing a song. We would both sing a Christmas song, and we'd try to, 1, 2, 3, sing the song and see if it would be the same song. Well, we got it wrong for, 50 songs or so until we got it right. And we both acted so excited when we got it right. We laughed so hard at our excitement, but it was just such a pure, good game. And then after that, we just played the fill in the blank game where where you're telling a story and one person says a word and the other person says a word, and you just continue until the story ends up just so crazy. And it was, and we laughed so hard, but it felt so good. I was literally, I was crying. I was laughing so hard, and that always feels so good. But anyway, if we don't take time for ourselves, if we don't take time in life for the good stuff, outside of the relationships, if we don't take time for ourselves just to rejuvenate, we just don't function properly. And we don't just suffer, but our families suffer as well. It's like a car. If the check engine light comes on and you don't pay attention, what's going to happen? Something bad's going to happen. But unlike cars that rely on computers or whatever, to let them know that something is wrong, we have kind of built-in internal reminders that let us know when something is wrong. And if we don't pay attention to those things, our bodies just will start screaming at us and nudging us to make changes. And we will be aware of what changes need to be made, but will we make them? It is something you need a lot of willpower for. And lately I've been praying for that willpower just to help me to do those things, to better my life and to take better care of myself. Because as you get older, you're going to have those aches and pains and everything like that. But if you're not getting proper sleep and you're not eating well and you're not getting exercise and you're not taking time for yourself to rejuvenate, well, things are going to get a lot worse. So when our bodies are screaming for that and we don't respond, we're just going to end up getting stressed and sick and fatigued, and our brains aren't going to work fast. We're going to be slow and stammer on our words and, all that terrible stuff. So it's just so important. And if you look at the life of Jesus himself, he always took time to pray, to rest, rejuvenate. And he was the most perfect person that ever lived. And yet he did that before any major thing that he ever did. Like when he prayed the night before choosing his disciples, it was Luke 6:12. And also in Mark 31, when he was telling his disciples, come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while. In Mark 1:35, when he rose early to pray alone, and Matthew 14:23, when he withdrew to pray after feeding the 5,000, he was constantly taking that time and to contemplate or to discern whatever was needed for that rejuvenation and for that clear mind before he made important decisions or led others. We're just blessed in the sense that we have Jesus' example in the Bible, the living Word of God, to know how to live if we just but pause and read it and take it to heart and see what we should do. And a lot of times I think people think it's selfish to take care of yourself, but we aren't talking about the type of taking care of yourself where, it's all about you and pampering yourself and, all that stuff you see, where people take it way too far. We're just talking about basic things like proper rest at night, eating well, going for a walk, getting the exercise you need, just reading a good book, taking time away from really nowadays digital stuff. And when we take good care of ourselves, we'll have the energy needed to take care of others around us. That was the thing with Jesus. It's like outside of rest and prayer and everything, the entire rest of his life was taking care of others and the spiritual needs of others and just helping them develop into good people where ultimately they would end up happy if they followed his lead. So, and the Bible doesn't explicitly say that, there has to be self-care. It doesn't command self-care. However, it's inherent in taking care of your body. Balance is key, though. Too much of a good thing can be bad, too. We can't take too much time for that either. It's just, a well-rounded life that way. But like I said, for myself, I know it's needed. I know how my body runs best. And when I start to neglect that and I start to make exceptions, it's amazing how quickly those exceptions can turn into patterns of bad habits. So I challenge you, maybe starting tonight before bed, start off a little early. If you have children, get them to bed. And then after that, don't take all of your time on the computer or on your phone scrolling or whatever. Take that really good, healthy, organic time. Just get ready for bed and get comfortable. Dim those lights. Find a good book that, whatever works for you, if it's spiritual growth or if it's a fiction book or whatever it is. I don't necessarily think that's so important as long as it helps your mind just to relax. But do make sure to pray too. Make sure, whether or not you're in the habit of it, I don't know. But at least make sure to thank God for all those blessings in your day and make that list. Think of that list of blessings. Ask forgiveness for those times that we failed to live perhaps the way we should have throughout the day. Whether you read before that or after that, just make sure you're nice and ready for bed, comfortable, and just take that extra, maybe hour, even start with a half hour. I know lately I've been trying to just, rather than getting ready right before I go to bed, I'll get ready as soon as the kids go to bed, then I get ready for bed. And then I take some time to go and just get really comfortable. And I found a book to read and that I had just ordered. Take that time to breathe, maybe stretch, breathing exercises, whatever it is. I just really challenge you to do that and see what happens. See if you can make it. Just see. This is my challenge to you. See if you can do it for 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row. And if you can do it for 3 days in a row, then you can do it longer. Then try to say, okay, 2 more days, and then it will be 5. And let me know what you did. I love to hear stories, and I love to know if I'm helping people by the things that I share with you or ideas I share. It's nothing profound. It's just kind of reminders of good life skills. True Name Podcast is so that we are living authentic lives, the way we are supposed to be living, the way God created us, who we are created to be. And one of those things is self-care. One of those things that's important is self-care so that we can be at our best. Because God did not create us to go around being all mopey and tired all the time and be complaining all the time because we're so overtired and stuff, but it's really our own fault, you know. If you have trouble with sleeping or anything like that, I invite you to, look up an app that might help. And I know that's relying on our phones, but they can be good for that. I know there's like Calm and there's just different ones out there. I have the Hallow app, and that has different prayers and meditations. But anything that can really help you calm. If you could do a magnesium bath before bed, I take Natural Calm. I mix up a drink of that, and that can really make you feel just really relaxed. So look into it. I've got lots of ideas. If you'd like ideas, reach out. If you have any trouble sleeping, there's a little patch that I wear that helps me to sleep. I can wear that in the night and I sleep like a baby. I used to have trouble sleeping, so that's something I could give you information on. Lots of babbling in this one, but I hope something helped you. I hope I inspired you somehow, and yeah, I challenge you, and I will be in on that challenge myself. So you can also, confront me and say, how many days have you done it? So yeah. Well, God bless you guys, and I'm just praying for good health for you, good habits, so that your life can just be changed and that you can just be living life at its fullest and in your true identity. All right, guys, have a blessed day or night or whenever you're seeing this. All right, bye-bye.